All right, let's get right into it. If you've ever been behind the wheel, stuck in traffic, I guarantee you've asked yourself this question. It's that weird mix of being totally frustrated, but also kind of amazed by the phone in your hand, right? How on earth does it know? I mean, especially on some random side street, there are no cameras out there, no police officers calling it in, and yet that little line on your map turns a deep, angry red, and you know you're not going anywhere for a while. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the brilliantly simple, and maybe just a little bit creepy, secret behind it all.
So before we get to the real answer, we have to talk about what it's not. Most of us have these ideas in our heads about how it all works, and honestly, they sound pretty convincing.
And you can see why we think this, right? It all involves massive, official-sounding stuff. Satellites, government cameras, police. It just feels like the kind of big data a company like Google would be using. But the truth is, it's none of these. Yup, just flat out wrong. None of those are the main source. Think about it. Satellites can't really clock the speed of every single car. Cities don't just hand over all their camera and sensor data. And most of those little back roads, they don't have any sensors to begin with. The real answer has been hiding in plain sight this whole time.
The whole system doesn't rely on some expensive external thing watching from above. Nope. It relies on something that you carry with you every single day. The secret isn't out there in the world. It's right in your pocket.
So if it isn't satellites or cameras or any of that, what could it be? What's the one thing that's in almost every car, on almost every road, at all times? That's it. You are the traffic sensor. And not just you. It's the person in the car next to you, the delivery driver 2 cars up, and millions of other people on the road at this very second. We are all, collectively, part of this giant, living, breathing network. The magic word here is crowdsourcing. Basically, every phone that has location services turned on is constantly sending these tiny, anonymous little packets of data back to Google. We're talking your speed, your general location, and your direction. And here's the kicker. You don't even need to have Google Maps open for this to work. The whole thing works because of sheer scale. Data from one single phone is just a meaningless dot. But when Google's algorithm can see the data from millions of phones all at once, it's not looking at dots anymore. It's looking at the entire circulatory system of a city, all moving in real time. Okay, but you might be thinking, how does it avoid mistakes? What if one person is just a really slow driver, or someone pulls over to take a call? How does Google know that's not a traffic jam? Well, this is where the algorithm gets really, really smart. It's all about finding patterns. And this is the absolute key to the whole thing. Google doesn't care about your phone specifically. It's looking for groups of phones or clusters that are all behaving in the same way. This one little trick is what makes the system so incredibly accurate. So let's imagine this. One phone on a highway suddenly slows way down. The system basically just shrugs it off. It assumes it's an outlier, maybe someone's looking for their exit or they're just a cautious driver. It's not a pattern, no big deal. But now, what happens when 10 phones in that exact same spot all slow down together? Okay, now the algorithm starts to pay attention. This isn't just one person anymore. This is the beginning of a collective pattern. The system flags this as mild traffic. And then you hit the critical mass. Let's say 50 phones in one area are all crawling along at a snail's pace. The algorithm now knows with almost total certainty this is not a coincidence. This is a traffic jam. And that cluster data is what gets turned into that simple color code we all understand instantly. The system compares the current speed of the cluster to the normal, historical speed for that exact stretch of road. Green means you're flying. Orange, things are getting a little sluggish. Red, you're pretty much stuck. And that dreaded dark red, yeah, you might as well be in a parking lot. So that explains how it knows what's happening right now. But maybe the most mind-blowing part is its ability to predict traffic before it even happens. This is where it gets into a whole other level of smart.
What you have to remember is that Google has an incredible memory. It remembers years and years of traffic data for pretty much every road on the planet. It knows the unique rhythm of your city, that a certain highway always gets jammed at 5 p.m. on a Tuesday, but it's wide open on a Sunday morning. It mashes up that deep historical knowledge with the live data, and its machine learning is getting smarter every single day.
And this is how you get that little notification that feels like actual magic. It's not a guess. The system sees the live data showing the very beginning of a slowdown up ahead. It checks its memory banks and says, oh yeah,
I've seen this movie before. This is exactly how a jam starts on this road, and then it warns you before you drive right into it.
Now let's be honest, this is an incredible service. It saves us time, gas, frustration, and it's free. But, like pretty much everything online, it's not truly free. We're paying for it with something else, our data. And it's important to understand what that trade-off actually is.
At its core, it's a simple exchange. On one side of the deal, you get one of the most powerful navigation tools ever invented. On the other side, to make it all work, the system needs a constant, anonymous stream of your movement data. It's anonymized, for sure, but it is still your data.
And over time, all that anonymous data starts to paint a surprisingly detailed picture. The system doesn't know your name, but it learns your patterns. It knows the rhythm of your life, when you leave for work, when you come home, the routes you like to take, even how fast you tend to drive. That's the price of admission for perfect, free navigation.
And this is the thought I really want to leave you with. This unbelievable global system. Nobody designed it from the top down. No government committee decided to build it. It just emerged, almost by accident, because billions of us started carrying these little supercomputers in our pockets. We all opted in, and together we accidentally built the most advanced traffic network in history. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other massive systems are you all building together right now without even realizing it?